And folks, remember, it's online live every Saturday from 11 to noon at 1300WMEL.com. Tell your friends. I don't care if they live in Wisconsin. Call them up and say, man, you got to get online and check out what's going on AM 1300 WMEL, which is 1300WMEL.com. Okay, check out American Warrior Radio. And also look on the archives, because we archive these episodes by title. That's very important because you can share what you learn here. If you're not taking notes, you can go back and Stu, it's easy. Listen to the program again.
It's so easy to listen to it. And just remember, think about this. Every weekend, this program is just chock full of information about services veterans can access and the programs that are going on in the community. And it's not just here in Brevard County. It's all across the United States.
That's a fact, Jack.
So make sure you go back to the recordings. And here's my challenge to everybody.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Citrus Solutions.
Yeah, but you know a veteran out there. Let them know about AM 1300, WMEL, and American Warrior Radio, and get them on the web and have them listen to this stuff.
For sure. They're going to learn a lot, and you know what? They may not use the information themselves, but they may know somebody that does. So we want to network together. We are a team, folks. That's what AVET. It stands for American Veterans Empowerment Team. So keep that in your noggin, make a note of it, and go to 1300WMEL.com, but even more, go to avetproject.org, lower left corner, click on the Facebook icon. You'll see lots and lots of stuff that's going on all the time. Okay, Mr. Smith.
Yep, before we left, Garen, we were talking a lot about some of my services, so thanks very much for the opportunity to do that. Let me just let everybody know that I do this as a means to an end. And so one of the biggest things that's important to me is support of our veterans as they come back home. We were talking a little bit about PRR and all the great work you're doing with AVET. And you're going to be in Houston in about a month, right?
Well, in Fort Worth,
Fort
yep.
Worth.
We'll be there doing a couple retreats for men and women.
Good. Maybe we'll get to Houston and San Antonio and Dallas and every other place in Texas and Colorado and everywhere in the United States doing these, because this is unique. This is a retreat that allows folks to access help that they need when they're leaving service. This is to reintegrate them. And so the AVET professionals and the AVET staff are there helping them. Garen, did you know the stats? I mean, I know you know the stats, but isn't it just absolutely outstanding, or just, isn't it just absolutely unbelievable, is the word I was looking for, that so many veterans get to a point where they're struggling so much that they consider taking their lives?
It's alarming.
It is out. Thank you very much.
22 a day, and that number has also decreased. We haven't had a single participant in PRR take that route yet, and we're very proud of that, because we do address and assess suicide risk while they're at PRR.
Yep, you all do an amazing job with the risk assessment and also dealing with things that we've all heard about: post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic brain injuries. But it's even more than that. It's just coming back and learning how to be a dad and a mom and a brother and a sister and being in the community. These folks have been deployed in combat. I mean, if you can think of all the experiences you can have and how extreme they are, combat has got to be on the top, 2 or 3. And so you're providing them the opportunity to come back and go through this program free of charge, with support like organizations like Citrus Solution Carpet Cleaning Brevard.
That's a fact.
Let me tell you a little bit about the offer, and
yes, please.
We'll do this. Again, we're going to donate 10% of our revenue. All you have to do is just let me know. But I'm going to go one step beyond that. I don't even care if you let me know. Regardless of you alerting me to the fact you heard this through AVET, 10% of my revenue, Garen's coming to you and the AVET project in support of this. I've already sponsored one warrior for $500. Let me give another challenge to our listeners. All you have to do is go to avetproject.org and then get rerouted right to CrowdWise. And if you'll note in your donation that you heard it on AVET Warrior Radio, and you'll make a donation, I'll match your donation, dollar for dollar, penny for penny. I've had some folks take me up on the offer. I've got $500 in there already. I'm willing to put match another $500 in there, even if you don't do business with me.
Well, that's, a lot of people want to do a lot of talking, but you're not only talking about it, you're walking the walk. And I appreciate that. I mean, I deeply appreciate that, because these guys and gals don't really have any structure. We're going to talk about that in a moment here with the TAP, Transition Assistance Program. but it's business leaders like yourselves, and let's talk about that for a moment. Not only are you a successful businessman, Army veteran, and you've been, you've got some wide-ranging, history here. You've been up in Washington State serving as a VSO, Veteran Service Officer, and you're on the board of the Military Affairs Council, and probably even the Cocoa Chamber, which is awesome. Looking forward to that. Based on all that experience, you have some good first-hand knowledge how difficult it is for these guys and gals to reintegrate. And I can't emphasize it enough, folks. On the line with us right now is AVET Project's Director of Counseling, Joanne Ivins. Joanne, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear it.
Well, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us on this beautiful Saturday. I know you're up in Oregon in your lovely home, which is another location where we host the PRR retreats.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, exactly. So, Joanne, we've got a couple coming up here in October, and we're also hoping to do some on the Space Coast in November. We simply have to come up with the funding. But as AVET Project's Director of Counseling, why is this program so effective, in your opinion, and obviously so important?
Well, of course, we've worked with quite a few vets, and the thing is that we find out that they have not learned to be able to relax when they get back. They have so many problems, they have so many things, they have PTSD, they have so many things going on, and when they come into our retreat, they learn to actually relax for a few minutes. I've even had one tell me this is the first time I've relaxed in 4 years. So, and then we help them too with PTSD, they do cognitive therapy, the hypnotherapy, the massage therapy. We do everything we can to spoil them, to honor them, to show them how much we appreciate everything that they've done for us.
Yeah, and PRR really does go beyond the reach of the individual participant, but as I've said before to so many people, it's a short retreat, and it's directed strictly at combat vets because of our resources. We'd love to invite everybody, but we know the need that they have. And correct me if I'm wrong, Joanne, but one of the most difficult things at the retreat to do is to get them to leave on Sunday night.
Oh, I know. And the camaraderie that they have once they get there and they start talking to each other, it helps them to open up to be able to talk to each other, because sometimes they will not talk, and so they realize that we're there to help them. And what you do, Darren, helps them so much too, because some of the benefits they don't even know that they can get. You've helped them to change their lives. It's been amazing for a lot of them.
Yeah, Joanne, AVET's not only providing the therapeutic approach, but also the educational approach. Can you help us understand also, as you think about the kind of a scale of stressors and the emotional, psychological, and physical impact of combat, help our audience understand on a scale of life events, where does this trauma of combat fit?
Oh my gosh, it's kind of hard to figure a scale because they live with it every minute.
That's
Even
right.
when they come home, they're always on alert. They're always remembering everything that happened. They're remembering their friends that died, the battles that they were in. Everything is a stress point for them. Even in the United States, we had a group that were floating down the river, and the kids actually threw a rock out in the river accidentally, and they reacted because they're on alert all the time. It's not something that just goes away.
So they're they're living with this trauma all the time. I apologize for interrupting. So help us understand too, this approach is so unique in that it's a retreat setting, it's the full suite of services. Talk a little bit about your approach from a therapy perspective and how beneficial it is for a veteran, a combat veteran in particular, to be talking to another combat veteran.
Well, sometimes when they come home, some of them don't have family, and some of them don't have a lot of friends, and they don't have anybody to talk to. And they go around with this feeling of being alone, and that nobody understands, and there's nobody to talk to and express how they feel or to help them. And so when they come to our retreat, I'm really blown away at how much we care about them and how much we try to do everything we can to open them up. It's amazing when they first come how they just, kind of just won't say anything. And towards the end of the retreat, they're talking and they're talking to the buddies, and it's just amazing because they know that we care, and they know that we understand what they're going through, and that whatever they tell us, we will not go, oh no, oh my gosh, because sometimes their family doesn't want to hear it.
Right.
Yeah, there's no judgment. Exactly. We don't judge them. We don't preach to them. I know as a Native American you're a very spiritual woman, and they come to appreciate that, not because you're preachy, but because of the way, the approach you have in addressing their inner self. This young man or young woman inside their soul that's probably been repressed because they've been looking over their shoulder for the last 12 months or 4 years or however long, wondering when they might end up being dead or killed. And you help them to nurture that and bring that out, and you've got some incredible exercises that you do. And talk about that for a moment. Getting these, these grown-ups, a lot of them, let's be honest, the age range, Joanne and Stu, is basically from 20 to 35, thereabouts. That's the core that we're going after. So speak to that, how you kind of did, but how uncomfortable some of them are to really just kind of let it all hang out.
Very big. They don't want to participate. They kind of look around like, no. And they're in it because they're realizing how much it does help them. It's free for them. The beauty of things is just what they do have. There's so many don't have, and to understand that there's so many people that do care about them. There's so many things out there that can change their mood, their way their body is, reacts to things. And we try to do this cognitive therapy where we show them how to look at things differently because they look at things one way, and that's the only way they know. And so they can, help to understand how to look at things differently.
Exactly, and we're talking with Joanne Ivins, AVET Project's Director of Counseling. As we mentioned, we've got a couple of retreats coming up, one for male warriors and the next weekend for female warriors in Fort Worth, Texas. We're going to be hosting these. We want to get these going in November here on the Space Coast, but we need your help, folks. Joanne just told you that when these warriors come together for this PRR, Project Recuperation and Reintegration Retreat, PRR, it's alphabet soup in the military, Stu, so we try and keep that lingo going.
We've got acronyms for acronyms.
Exactly. But they'll come in and oftentimes not knowing anybody else that's assembled for the retreat. And as you said, Joanne, it's a little different by the time they get ready to leave.
Yes, we'll try to help them understand that they're a spirit and they come here and they can change how they think and how they react to things and how they can live in this life loving being here and not being afraid and not being nervous and upset and all this kind of thing. So we should try to help it in any way that we can.
And Joanne, thanks again for all that you do. And I think it's important to mention that this approach and the old adage goes this way, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so...
Oh, say that again. I like that.
Yeah, so people really don't care how much you know. So if you're trying to give a combat veteran in particular information before they know you care about them, they're not going to receive the information. So what happens, I believe, is that once they understand that they're in a safe environment, they're among their peers, they're not going to be judged, that they're going to go through a structured program that's going to help them out, and everybody really cares about them. That allows them, to let down that guard and then listen to benefit education, listen to, get what is coming to you from VA services, from the community, and give them the tools to cope once they leave the retreat.
I know one time Garen and Kim had me stop by and see a vet on my way back from Portland, Oregon. And I said, well, I don't know if I call him a boy because I could be his grandma. I don't know if he'll talk to me because he doesn't know me from anything. And I went and talked to him. I asked him if he wanted to go eat lunch, and it was no. And I talked to him for about a half an hour. And pretty soon he said, yes, I'll go. Because that's how you say. They know you really do care.
Absolutely. And few things are more caring and more educational than Project Recuperation and Reintegration, and your support of that and your willingness to lend your talents is just amazing, and it makes a big difference in these veterans' lives. In fact, Garen, I think you can see some of the statements from past participants on avetproject.org, and if you'll read, if you'll go to the web and you'll read some of these life-changing experiences and the statements that these veterans have made about this, it changes lives.
And well said. That's constant contact. If you want to be on the list to hear some of the latest and greatest, Facebook's great, the website's great, but get a message to Kim at avetproject.org, and you can get on the list for constant contacts. It's just a service that we use that really pumps out great information. They end up at the retreat with an IAP, an individualized action plan, and Joanne, you are instrumental in helping us put that together for each individual participant, kind of a roadmap as to how to overcome the obstacles they're facing when they come back home and attempt to reintegrate. And we've had such incredible success, but it couldn't be possible without you and all the others that helped make this a team effort. And I want to let everybody out there know, and Stu, you mentioned it early on, any program or service offered by AVET Project is absolutely free to the participant or recipient.
Our favorite four-letter word, absolutely free. Now think about this. We're bringing veteran service members, combat service members in for free, providing them all these services. And business leaders, I'm talking to you. We can't do it without your support. I'm not asking you to do what it is that I'm doing, but if
That'd be nice.
if in your heart you know it's the right thing to do, find a way to support AVET, find a way to support these veterans, because now you're getting back what you gave to the service. You're getting back a whole human being. That's how they went in, right? You're getting back what you gave in, and now you're getting a future employee, you're getting a future family member that can be successful in that family, you're getting a future community leader. This is a big program that helps a lot of folks.
And what's really great too is when they, do just donate to these retreats, they go to AVET Project and see some of the faces and see what we do and see the boys and the girls that have, given their lives for our country, that have gone through so many things, and to see their faces, serene, it's unbelievable, it's wonderful.
It is, and again, we've got Joanne Ivins, our AVET Project's Director of Counseling, on the line with us. Joanne, I want to thank you so much for everything you're doing. I know you bounce between Houston, where you work with veterans, and even active duty folks in Oregon, where we host the retreats, and we're going to be in Fort Worth. Folks, none of this happens if, as Stu said, you don't offer support to us. Help us help them. I don't care if it's $1, $10, or $100 or more. Go to avetproject.org and click on the donate button. If you know somebody that's well off or wants to support the troops, tell them about it too, because really nobody receives a paycheck at AVET Project. We offer all the programs and services absolutely free. We would have it no other way. And we take no public money. We don't take government grants. Almost every other veteran-related organization is on the dole with your dollar, and that's fine. We just chose not to go down that route. We want to see that the American public supports these warriors. And Joanne, I want to give you the last word on this because I know you have to go.
I just want to say thank you, Darren and Kim, for you guys are the ones that do all the hard work.
How about it?
Finding all these people that are so kind and loving and giving, and it takes so much work, and you guys' heart is in it every minute of the day, every minute.
Well, you're a sweetheart for saying that. We love you, Joanne. Keep up the good work. We'll see you in Fort Worth. Again, that was Joanne Ivins, AVET Project's Director of Counseling, kind of reminding you all a little bit about what Stu led us into, and that is the importance of these PRR, Project Recuperation and Reintegration Retreats, and how impactful they are, not just on the warrior themselves, but the community in general.
And if you think for a moment that this is not going to continue, the need for veterans to get through this, not only do we have a number of unserved and underserved veterans from recent I guess now they're ended wars, but if you think about the volatility in the world, regardless of what talking head you're listening to, ladies and gentlemen, people are going to have to fight the battle, and when they finish, they're going to have to be helped back into the community that they left. So this is unfortunately for the foreseeable future a need that is going to be there, that we have to help these young men and young women.
I just want to say, very well put, Stu. Thank you so much. You've been an awesome co-host. We're coming down to the end of the show. It blows my mind how quickly this hour goes. Hope you enjoy it, and hope you let us know how much you enjoy it. And if you have any specific issue you want us to talk about, you can email us. Just go to avetproject.org. I had loaded the plate full of stuff that we can't possibly get to. Another time, let's talk about Transition Assistance Program. This is an offering through, it's now joint, VA DOD, where a warrior that's getting out of service, whether it's through separation or longevity retirement, has to go through this class. And the problem is, AVET Project has found out right here on the Space Coast, that it is not delivering the goods as it was originally intended.
Right, well intending, and unfortunately, in transition assistance, it's more about activity versus outcome. So we'll talk to you in the future about how you can, let folks know what veterans need in these transition assistance offices. Now, that doesn't mean this. That you go to TAP. Before you leave, you go to TAP. Before you leave the service, you leave with your medical records, your dental records, your service record, and before you get your DD-214, before you leave the service, you file your VA disability claim.
Yep, and we'll talk more about that. And Stu, you've been such an awesome host. I can't wait to have you back when Glenn has to sneak out of the office again. I want to mention real quick, if you are interested in a FedEx driver position, go to avetproject.org. There's information about that. Part-time drivers could lead to full-time employment. Symmetrics, we post jobs that Symmetrics here locally has. So much going on. Battle of the Branches, get a team together.
Coming up November the 1st.
That's right. It takes 10 people to form a team, and you just have to raise $500. It is free to military, fire, and police to form a team.
And can you believe Soldier Hard and the Recon Music Group is going to be there in addition to the battle?
Exactly. It's super cool. Now, before we go, we always share this information because it's so vital.
Absolutely, and I'm filling big boots here, and so just remember, veterans or family members, if you know someone in crisis, it's just a phone call. Help is just a phone call away. 800-273-8255. Press 1 again. The Veterans Crisis Line, 800-273-8255. And just remember, don't forget, thank a vet.